Welcome, Dusty. You want to say hello to everybody?
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Okay. Let me see. We're here because you have two children, actually, right?
Correct. I'm a single mom with two children.
Yeah. One of whom deals with Down syndrome. That's your 8-year-old son.
Correct.
He deals with Down syndrome, although I understand a high-functioning Down syndrome, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And autism and its various, behavior issues.
Yes.
Okay. You have a photo. Didn't you show me a photo before?
I do. This is his recent class photos. So this is him.
All right. So now we know who we're talking about, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Great. Thank you. So he is currently not there. He's at his with your daughter, I guess, at his dad's house.
Yes.
Okay. And I understand you have tried EFT with him for his various issues.
Correct.
And what happens when you do that?
He doesn't sit still for very long, and sometimes he gets irritable if he does not want you doing something, or if he's busy doing something else. He'll push you away. Sometimes he'll scream. So behavior comes out when he doesn't want to do what you want him to do.
Yeah.
So it's difficult. It's difficult to get him to sit still and do this.
I know a few adults like that, by the way. So.
I think I do too.
And I happen to be one of them from time to time. So. But at any rate, the issue here is if EFT is going to be useful for him, it's impractical to try it on him because he just doesn't sit still, and he's not with you, and so on, right?
Yes.
That plus the fact that oftentimes with EFT, what we try to do is get down to emotional issues, and it's stuff an 8-year-old typically is not able to access, much less a restless one, and so it becomes a little challenging there as well.
Especially with the emotional side, because he's also Down syndrome. So you have the Down syndrome and the autism on top of each other. So yes, it's very difficult.
All right. Now, enter Surrogate EFT, which is what we want to do here. Do you know what that means, first of all?
Surrogate is when someone else is standing in for that person, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Someone or something.
Yeah. Stated in EFT terms, you would do the tapping for your son.
Okay.
Okay? As though you were him. Now, that may seem a little strange to you, does it?
It does. I guess I was thinking I would use a doll or a stuffed animal or something like that, but okay.
Well, actually, you could do that. But I'm gonna coach you in a little different way. Let me ask you first here. Do you have currently? I'm talking about you now, not your son. Do you currently have a physical discomfort, a headache, something in your back, your shoulders, sinuses, breathing, something like that?
I have sinus problems right now from my allergies. Yes.
Oh, you do?
Mm-hmm.
The reason I ask that is I would like to do a little surrogate EFT on you. I mean, I'm gonna do it on me as though I'm you.
Oh, okay.
Hopefully you will get some result, and that will give you some sense of why this might work.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So let's talk about your sinuses for the moment. Where is the discomfort? In the nose, eyes, what?
It's mostly in here.
Okay, and describe the discomfort. Is it a drainy kind of thing, a dull kind of thing, a stuffy kind of thing? What is it?
It's stuffy, and it feels like it's dry, like it's swollen in there.
Okay, and on a scale of 0 to 10, where 10 is the driest and stuffiest it's ever been, and 0 is nothing, what number do you give it at the moment?
A 7.
A 7. Oh, okay. Well, you just sit there for a minute, okay? And I'm going to do a little EFT as though I'm you. Let's just see what happens, okay?
Okay.
Even though I'm Dusty, and I have this stuffy, dry thing behind my nose, around my nose area, I deeply and completely accept myself. This stuffy, dry feeling in my nose. 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 That's just kind of one round, but let me ask you, is it still a 7?
No. No, it's not dry anymore. It's not that stuffy either.
Well, if it was a 7, give me a number for it.
Probably 5.
Probably a 5. Okay, so it's improved some. All right,
yes.
I'm going to do another round, okay? Even though I still have some of this stuffy dryness, I deeply and completely accept myself. Remaining what was the term? Stuffy dryness. Okay.
Stuffy dry.
Remaining stuffy dryness. 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 Okay. Check it again. Tell me if you're still a 5.
No. I don't know, maybe a 2, 1, or a 0. No, I'm a little stuffy still.
Okay.
Probably a 2.
All right. Well, we could do another round or 2, but the point I wanted to make to you is you didn't do anything.
No.
Okay. I did the tapping as though I'm you. And all I really wanted to do is get you a sense, get you a tangible physical sense of what happens and how this can work, okay? And the reason that I can do it on me and you get a benefit, and this gets into spirituality, etc., but you know, there's a whole spiritual thing about we're all one, we're all connected, okay? And different religions have different views on that and so on and so forth. And I don't want to get into that because it gets very debatable, etc. However, that is clear evidence that you and I are somehow connected.
Yes.
Okay. Otherwise, how would that be possible?
And you're pretty far away.
Yeah, we're about 3,000 miles apart, aren't we?
I think so. That's about right.
I mean, close to that. Maybe not quite that, but 3,000 miles apart. So, it is no stretch whatsoever to think that you and your son, should we use his name?
Sure, Mason.
Okay. That you and your son, Mason, are also connected. So you
Correct.
can tap as though you were Mason.
Yes.
And therefore it would not be a surprise if he got a result.
Correct.
All I'm trying to do here is give you some confidence in this process.
Okay.
Now, what we want to do here is I coach you through this. Is the first thing we want to do is we're going to make a list, if you will, of the various issues that he would have. Okay, and you told me prior to in a phone call prior to this video that there were a number of things like I think your parents live downstairs, and when they come upstairs, he gets agitated, and other things. Give me an example.
Let's call it a routine issue. He doesn't like chairs being moved. He doesn't like it when you rearrange furniture. He doesn't like it when my parents are supposed to be in the basement and they come upstairs. He knows they're supposed to be in the basement. So there's a lot of routine. I don't know if we just want to call it routine or things out of place. He likes things to be where they belong.
Okay, all right. And so if something is out of place in his perception,
yes,
then he gets irritable, he gets upset, he gets anxious to some degree.
He'll act out. Yes.
Yeah.
Behavioral.
Yeah. Okay. That's actually, I mean, some of the psycho speak about all this stuff would call that, in a mild way, a form of OCD. You know, that is, everything's got to be just like it's supposed to be, or it's got to be clean, or whatever. Okay.
Right.
But again, these are labels. Okay. I don't care so much about labels here. But the issue is he has problems when things aren't routine. For him, he gets upset. So, and then he has behavior problems. And what kind of behavior does he have?
He'll scream. Sometimes he'll push. Like my parents are up here, he'll push them, wanting to push them back down the stairs.
Where they belong.
Where they belong.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
In his mind, yes.
All right. And he screams like really loud, or just you can hear him in the next room? Or?
It's a pretty loud scream, yes. He's letting you know that he does not like this.
Okay. So I mean, he's got some big time upset, and he's got to scream, if you will, to communicate it.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, okay, we're going to make a list, but that's one on the list. So why don't we? Let me coach you through that. So the first thing we want to do is, now we have what the behavior is, and we have a sense of what his emotional response would be, what's going on inside him emotionally. That is, and again, what we're doing is we're trying to put ourselves in his shoes, which is not always going to be accurate. You don't always put yourself in somebody's shoes accurately. So we do the best we can. All right. So your perception of him needing to have everything in place is how you observe it. Okay. What's actually going on in him might be different. We don't know. Okay. But we're going to take your perception first, and what we're going to do is you are going to assume you are Mason.
Okay.
You're going to do some tapping. I'll coach you along through it. And the tapping is going to aim at, even though I'm upset when things are not in place. Okay. Now we're going to do one round on that, and then we're going to get a little more specific. Okay. So with me.
Okay.
Even though I'm Mason.
Even though I'm Mason.
And I get upset when things are not in place.
When things are not in place.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
At some level, I know I don't really have to do that.
At some level, I know I really don't have to do that.
And I'd like to be free.
And I'd like to be free.
Okay. Things need to be in their place.
Things need to be in their place.
I insist they 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 be in their place.
Insist they be in their place.
I insist they be in their place.
I insist they be in their place.
Okay. All right. Now, see, one thing that limits us here is we have no way of testing whether or not, at the moment anyway, whether or not that one round worked, like we could do with your sinuses. Okay.
Correct.
Okay. So he's not here. We can't test it. The only way we're going to be able to test if what we're doing is correct, is going to help, is when the real world comes and your parents come up the stairs or something is out of routine, and you watch how he responds. Okay?
Yes.
And if it's less or not there or something like that, hey, we had some improvement. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Now, I'd like to now get just a little more specific, rather than I get upset when things aren't, in their place. Let's get down to when my grandparents come upstairs. That's more specific.
Okay.
Okay. And what I want to start doing here is, rather than you be using my words, I want to coach you to use your words. So if you were Mason, and the parents are coming upstairs, what would be your self-talk?
Grams and Papa are not supposed to be up here. Grams and Papa are supposed to be down in their space.
Okay.
Where they belong.
All right. Okay. Grams and Papa are not supposed to be up here.
Mm-hmm.
Grams and Papa are supposed to be where they belong. I'm just giving you options, but we want to use your words, because I won't be here to coach you later.
Right.
Okay.
I got it.
So it's your words. Okay. So what's he saying?
Grams and Papa are not supposed to be up here. Grams and Papa should be downstairs.
Okay. All right. So we're going to use those words. All right. Tap right here.
Okay.
Even though.
Grams,
say the words. Grams and Papa. Go ahead.
So, as Mason, even though Grams and Papa are not supposed to be upstairs,
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
All right. Top of the head.
Okay.
Grams and Papa aren't supposed to be upstairs.
Grams and Papa aren't supposed to be upstairs.
Okay. Keep going.
Grams and Papa aren't supposed to be upstairs. 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 Grams and Papa aren't supposed to be upstairs.
Okay. All right. Now, we never know if we got our words just right. And you don't have to have them just right. All you really have to do is echo, what's going on in him. The EFT concept is that when these things are going on, there's a disruption in the free flow of the energy meridians, and like a short circuit in the system. Okay, and that's because he's got some emotional thing going on about Grams and Papa being upstairs. So, those words are triggering that disruption. We do the tapping. Hopefully, that disruption now gets less. The next time they come upstairs, we won't have quite the issue. But let's do another round on it, and let's see if we can't get back into Mason's head, get his self-talk, and pull up some other words that he might have in his self-talk about that. What would that be?
I'm not sure. What would that be? About Grams and Papa, that he likes to go visit them. They don't visit me. I visit them.
Okay. All right. And so, even though, and start using your words, okay?
As I'm Mason, even though Grams and Papa don't visit me, I visit them, I deeply and completely accept myself. Grams and Papa, I visit them downstairs. Does that work?
You use your word. You don't have to ask me. Use your words.
I visit Grams and Papa downstairs. 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 Oops. I visit Grams and Papa downstairs. 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 I visit Grams and Papa downstairs.
Okay. All right. Again, we don't know how to test this now. We only test it in the live circumstance. But okay, so you could you go ahead.
I understand the concept, and I understand that it would take probably maybe for a typical child it may take 2 or 3 times of doing something like this. But with a child with special needs, it may take, let's say, 9 or 10 times to get the wording right. Correct? I mean, it could take.
Okay. What I'd like to do is for you and those listening, is to try to get away from the term of getting the words right. And this is an error of mine in teaching over time. People have watched me on my videos, etc., and they think my language is magic and that you have to get the words right. I've been at that. I've done this a bazillion times. So after a while, I get to the point where I can put together the words pretty well. But that's not what's important. What's important is you just pull out of yourself whatever words are descriptive.
Okay.
Of what the emotion might be. That's all you need. It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be well worded exactly and da-da-da-da-da. All you have to do is put a few words around what the emotion might be.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're dealing directly with the emotion.
Yeah, you are just describing the emotional issue with your words. But Grams and Papa don't belong up here. I mean, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
So you get into their self-talk. Now, when we're done here, you might want to do, because I'm trying to coach you through the idea of it. You might want to do another 4, 5, 6 rounds just on Grams and Papa. Okay. But I want to go a step further now. You said there are other areas where he screams, like you move furniture. I mean, give you another example.
Well, moving furniture would be one of them. I don't move furniture for that reason. But they do at school. For instance, if they move his chair or someone else sits in his chair, he gets very upset. Again, that goes back to probably what you call the OCD. But one of the biggest problems that we have is, and it doesn't affect me here at home so much, but when the fire alarm is tested at school, or if they have a fire drill at school, it's a very, very, very loud alarm. And he drops to the floor and covers his head and screams, no matter where he is.
Okay.
And that's a problem. That's an issue of him being safe.
Of course, of course. And by the way, you just said the core word you want to use, for your tapping, and that word would be
Safe.
Safe. He doesn't feel safe. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Okay, I don't know how we're ever going to test that one, but
they'll tell me at school next time they test it.
Okay, but I don't know how you could. Is there a way you could emulate that at home?
Just setting off the fire alarms I have here, yes. I would have to do a test on them, but I can do that.
Well, okay. What I would do, just to be humane, is I would say to him, tell him first. I have to test this alarm, so let me test. It won't be very long. Just and see what happens. I mean, be a little humane with him, okay? So anyway, regarding the alarm, start tapping. Use the words come up. Be him, and use.
I know I get scared when the alarm goes off, but I deeply and completely accept myself. Loud alarm hurts my ears. 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 Loud alarm hurts my ears.
Okay.
That would be one that I think I would do for sure. Well, we just did.
All right. The one we talked about earlier had to do with safety. So why don't you do that one?
Okay. I feel unsafe when the alarm goes off. I don't feel safe with the alarm. I don't feel safe with the alarm. I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe with the alarm. 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 I don't feel safe with the alarm.
Okay, one thing I'd mentioned to you, Dusty, was when you were doing the eyebrow points. This is just a kind of a technical thing.
Mm-hmm.
It appeared to my eyes you were tapping like in the middle of them. It's the beginning of either eyebrow. But what I like to do, I just take nowadays. I just take 4 fingers of one hand and I tap between them. That gets both sides.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Easy enough. Okay. All right. So now we've dealt with that one. Let me get back to the furniture thing for a second. His chair. He has a chair in your house, I guess?
No, at school. He has a chair at school.
Does he have any furniture that he calls his at your house?
He does have a little rocking chair, yes. That's his.
And is that in his bedroom or?
Oh, he carries that around the house. Whatever room he wants to be in, he'll take it into that room.
Oh, okay. So he'll take to that room and he'll put it down wherever he wants.
Correct.
Is it always the same place?
No. It is the same place in each room, yes.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Yeah, right.
So if he's in the living room, I mean, you can pretty much predict right where he's going to put it.
Where he's going to put it. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. And so does he watch TV with you?
Not necessarily with me every once in a while, but he doesn't watch a whole lot of TV. He likes specific movies that he'll watch when he wants to watch something.
Okay, well, here's what I'm thinking. But you live this thing. I don't. I'm thinking this. He's going to watch TV or he's going to do something where he's going to be sitting in this chair, which is in this exact place.
Right.
Okay. And then for whatever the reason, the phone rings, a friend comes by, he's got to go to the refrigerator, to the bathroom, whatever the case may be. He leaves his chair. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering what would happen after we do this. What would happen if we did no tapping whatsoever and you just moved that chair a foot and he comes back? Would he scream and get upset or just move the chair back?
I think he would just move the chair back.
Okay, what if you moved it 5 feet?
He would probably scream and go get it and move it back.
Okay. So
yeah.
Here's what I think the test would be. Okay. I mean, we'll do some tapping on it for a minute, but I'm going to talk about the test first. During an occasion when he's got his chair where it needs to be and he gets up and he does whatever he does and leaves his chair, move that chair to a point where you think he will have some reaction.
Okay.
Maybe if it's 2 inches and he's not going to do anything about it, and that's not a test. Move it far enough so you think he's going to have some response to it. Okay.
Okay.
And see what he does, and notice whether the response is less. Like if you moved it 5 feet away and he just picked it up and put it back where it belonged. That's better than screaming.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Or if he just says, "What's this?" and moved it, that's better than screaming. Okay. You see where I'm going on that?
Yes, I
okay.
got it.
I'm always looking for ways to test these things, okay?
Okay.
So, okay. Now, if his chair is moved when he comes back, what do you suppose his self-talk would be?
I'm mad because I can't find my chair, or I'm mad because the chair was moved. I'm upset that the chair's been moved.
Okay.
I'm trying to think, because just the other day, he had moved his chair upstairs to his bedroom. And then he was downstairs and he wanted to watch a movie. And when he went in to watch the movie, his chair wasn't there. And he screamed. And then he ran up the stairs and dragged his chair back down the stairs so he could watch his movie in his chair.
Okay. All right.
But he did scream, but he did it all himself. Like, he screamed, like, "Where's my chair?" Or, I'm upset my chair is gone.
Okay. All right. So we're getting to the core thing. When things aren't where they're supposed to be,
correct.
He gets upset. So, I mean, that's what, we did that kind of global kind of thing to begin with, but now we're down into the specifics. Okay. So go ahead and do a round or two, using whatever words seem to fit, just words that describe the emotion you would have if you were Mason.
As Mason, I get upset when I can't find my chair. I get upset when my chair's been moved. 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 I get upset when my chair's been moved.
Okay.
It's basic.
Yeah, well, very basic, but right on point. Now, you're going to want to do, when this video is over, and by the way, not just a time or two afterwards, this should be a daily thing, because the more you do it, the more likely it is to start showing benefits, okay? It's not like you just do it today and hope it's going to go forever. You're more likely going to, with this kind of thing, you have to chunk it in place, okay? Okay. I also recall, and by the way, there are other things where things have to be in place, but I will let you, make your own list of those and tap accordingly. I want to get to another topic. This is something you and I talked about before this video ever came on when we were on the phone. As I recall it, there is some difficulty with his potty training. Am I correct?
Yes.
All right. Describe that.
Well, he knows how to do it, and he knows where to go do it. But when he's at the house, with me especially, I think it's just he's being stubborn. He doesn't want to stop and go do it, and so he'll have accidents.
Okay.
And I think it's being stubborn or lazy, or he gets busy playing and forgets. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But he does scream at me sometimes. Like when he first comes home from school, before he can have a snack or anything else, he has to go to the potty. And when I tell him it's time to go to the potty, he screams at me.
And why would he scream?
Because he doesn't want to do it. And he knows Mommy wants him to go do that.
Okay. Get inside his head for a minute. You said stubborn or something like that. What might be? I know nobody can get inside somebody else's head perfectly, but what might be his self-talk?
If he's anything like me, I don't want to do it. You can't make me. All right. But I'm not sure exactly, but it would be probably that. I don't want to right now. No, I don't want to right now. And, you can't make me, Mommy, or...
Well, okay. I'm just speculating here along with you. Kids at just about every age, always want to show their independence in one way, shape, or form. Okay, particularly. Well, I was going to say particularly when we're teenagers, but I'm not sure it's limited to that. So I'm just guessing this is a form of that. You called it stubborn or whatever, but here I am and you can't make me. Okay. And another thing they might be saying is, this is my way of getting attention. Okay. Are any of these ringing a bell? I don't want to impose them on you. I'm offering you suggestions, and if they ring a bell, great. Otherwise, we'll keep going.
I think it's more of the stubborn, more of the independent, stubborn. I know how to do this. You don't have to tell me when. So you're probably right. More of a independence, being stubborn for independence reasons, maybe.
Okay. All right. So if you're Mason, how would you tap for it?
Probably I don't have to go and I don't want to go right now.
All right.
Or I want what I want instead of that right now. I want to do something else. He really screams at me. I mean, it's anger. There's anger.
All right. Well, there's your word. He's angry.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever he's angry at, maybe it's because he doesn't want to be told what to do. Maybe it's something else that we're not able to put our fingers on, But, do a round on anger. By the way, for those listening in, you and I are talking about it, so as you talk about it, you bring some words up. If you don't have somebody to talk to about it, talk to the mirror and just start talking about what's going on, and sooner or later a word or two will pop up, and here comes anger, okay? So anyway, you give it a shot.
Okay. Tapping as Mason. I'm angry when Mom tells me what to do. I get angry when Mommy tells me what to do. I get angry when Mommy tells me what to do. I get angry when Mommy tells me what to do. I get angry when Mommy tells me what to do. I get angry when Mommy tells me what to do. I get angry when Mommy tells me what to do. I get angry when Mommy tells me what to do. I get angry when Mommy tells me what to do.
All right. Now do another round, because that's kind of the general time. I get angry when Mommy tells me what to do. Okay. Mm-hmm. There are now some specifics. I get angry when Mommy wants me to go to the potty. Okay.
Yes.
I get angry when Mommy wants me to eat my green beans. I'm making that up. Okay. But be more specific.
Okay.
So go ahead.
Okay. Happy Nancy Mason. I get angry when Mommy wants me to go to the potty. I get angry when Mommy wants me to go to the potty. I get angry when Mommy wants me to go to the potty. I get angry when Mommy wants me to go to the potty. I get angry when Mommy wants me to go to the potty. I get angry when Mommy wants me to go to the potty. I get angry when Mommy wants me to go to the potty. I get angry when Mommy wants me to go to the potty. I get angry when Mommy wants me to go to the potty.
Okay. All right. What else does he get angry at when you want him to do something?
Brush his teeth. That's another one I would use it for.
Go ahead.
I get angry and scream when Mommy makes me brush my teeth. I get angry and scream when Mommy makes me brush my teeth. I get angry and scream when Mommy makes me brush my teeth. I get angry and scream when Mommy makes me brush my teeth. I get angry and scream when Mommy makes me brush my teeth. I get angry and scream when Mommy makes me brush my teeth. I get angry and scream when Mommy makes me brush my teeth. I get angry and scream when Mommy makes me brush my teeth. I get angry and scream when Mommy makes me brush my teeth.
All right. Okay. Again, we don't know how well we're doing. We will know when the circumstances arise. Again, okay. But I want to emphasize again, especially with something like autism and Downs and this kind of thing, we don't get 1 minute wonders here. We tend to get gradual improvement, but improvement we do tend to get. I've got lots of people that have told me because of surrogate tapping, autism. I have very few reports on Down syndrome, but autism, the behavior patterns have improved significantly. So,
okay.
So you're going to need to keep at this. So, What other issues does Mason have that could bear improvement?
It's not behavior, but it is his speech, because he's becoming more social now. So his social capabilities or skills are getting better. But his speech is still one word, maybe two words at the most, and not very clear. And we don't know why.
I'll give you an example.
Just eat. He'll sign and say eat. And then I'll say, well, what do you want? And he'll go into the pantry and point to it. And I'll try to make him speak, but it's me leading him to speak in a whole sentence. But he won't say it very clearly. Like cereal wouldn't sound anything like cereal. So it's not really behavior, so I'm not sure.
Is it... See, I'm shooting in the dark here, so I have to ask questions. Is it a physical thing where he can't form the words well, or is it a mental thing because he can't remember words?
We don't know, because that's probably part of the autism, and some of the studies in autistic children have shown that they don't have much speech, and then all of a sudden they'll get some speech, or they'll all of a sudden have speech and then they won't have any speech. Meaning it just disappears. We don't really know. They don't know. The doctors don't know. So I'm not sure that's something I can tap for. I guess I can tap for anyway. But
yeah. Don't limit yourself, okay? No, I think this was well worth tapping on.
Okay.
And so, again, if you are Mason, try to get some sense of the emotional resistance or emotional barriers or whatever it is to being able to speak fluently.
I don't know if I understand what emotional barriers there would be.
Well, just imagine being him. What might you have to guess? Okay.
Yeah. He's afraid to ask for it. I mean, he's not afraid to ask for it, so I really don't know.
Okay.
This is why I say this is a hard one to tap for the emotion of it, because I don't know what the emotions around it could be.
Okay. All right. Well, if we can't find the right emotion, and if it's just we can guess. You'd be surprised, by the way, how close people's guesses are. Okay, but we can guess, or we can just simply tap on the issue itself, on the physical issue, even though I'm just unable, to speak clearly and fluently. Okay, so go ahead.
Although I can't speak clearly and fluidly, I deeply and completely accept myself. Although I can't speak fluidly, I deeply can. Speaking fluidly. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking fluidly and clearly. 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 It's hard to do.
Well, yeah, okay. It seems to me, although I'm not Mason, that if I were unable to, put several words together fluently, I would be frustrated by that because my friends are. Well, my friends can do that. Would that be on target for him?
Well, yes, because when he was young, before he could sign, he would scream. And before he could really speak and he signed, he would still sometimes scream to get your attention, and then he would sign it. So, if he wanted more, he would say more, and then he would get it. But he would scream first to get your attention and then say more. Instead of saying, Mama, I want more, he would just scream.
Yeah, okay. Well, why don't you do a round, even though I'm so frustrated?
Okay. Around the speech, or just frustrated in general, you think? Because the frustration probably goes into all kinds of facets of his life when,
Okay. General idea here. The frustration is sort of the global, generalized thing. Yes, we can tap for that.
Okay.
Even though I'm frustrated about the world, okay? But also do the specifics. Even though I'm frustrated about not being able to speak fluently. Even though I'm frustrated about this, that, or the other thing, okay? But let's just do it for the moment on the speech thing.
Okay.
So go ahead.
Although I'm frustrated with not being able to speak clearly, I deeply and completely accept myself. Frustrated in speaking, 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 frustrated in speaking.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, see, what I'm trying to do here is get you the general idea, which I hope I've communicated well to you.
Okay.
What we have to go from here is you need to do this on your own, add some more things to it and do it with some consistency and call me as you go along and you have questions. And then we'll get back together and either on the telephone or here if need be, and keep coaching you through it. And remember, as I'm coaching you, I'm coaching all kinds of other people that have these similar issues, and they're very important issues, for those that have them. But before we sign off, though, Dusty, do you have any other questions for me? Are there any other topics with Mason that might be worth discussing here?
I'm not sure about topics about Mason. I felt that when I spoke to you on the phone and we were going to do a surrogate, and Mason, of course, not being here, that's why I grabbed his photograph and kind of put it here so that I was focusing my energy on him, because I feel like I can connect my energy to him at any time. Is there anything that I need to do, like in the beginning, to focus on him? Or is that okay? It's not like we have to say a little prayer or do a little dance.
Well, that's an interesting question, because I know long before I ever even started, doing EFT and developing it, I had learned about distance healing, if you will, and supposedly you're supposed to go through some song and dance, if you will, some routine that took you quite a while. You got to get into it and this and ask permission for this and this whole thing had to go on. And I don't do any of that. And I've done this countless times, mostly with success. Good success. And I do it like that, even though I'm dusty, like that's what I did with your sinuses, right? Mm-hmm. How's your sinuses, by the way?
Still there, but very low, about a 2 or a 3.
Okay. And I forgot they were like a 7 or something?
They started off, I think, as a 7, yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right.
No dryness at all.
What's that?
No dryness, just the stuffy's still there.
Okay. Well, this stuff is garbage, it can't possibly work. So, okay. Now, so your homework, if you will, is to do this with some consistency. Make lists of the specific things, that the specific behavior issues, and just, set aside a little time every day to do them, maybe even twice a day, and do it for at least a week or two.
Okay.
And start noticing, testing the way I'm telling you about, maybe the fire alarm, or did we not talk on the phone about maybe there was certain music?
I could do music too with him, yes, because he doesn't like some types of music.
Okay, that'd be a good test, because you could do some of this tapping on certain kinds of music, and then play the music really lightly in the background and gradually increase the sounds and see what happens. That's testing in a humane way, okay?
Right.
But always test, and either observe or test, etc. And make little notes about how he's doing better or worse, or whatever the case may be. Okay. And then let me know.
Okay. I will.
All right.
Thank you so much for guiding me on this.
All right. Thanks, Dusty.
Thank you.
Okay, Dusty. It's been what, the better part of a week since we first talked?
It was last Saturday when we first talked. Yes, so it's been a week.
It's been a week. Okay, great. And so you called me in the meantime, give me a little update, and my understanding is your surrogate tapping for your son Mason and for your dog, I understand, has been generating some useful benefits. So why don't you just talk about that a little bit, could you?
I could, yes. I started tapping with you. You were teaching me some of the tapping for my son that day, and as the week went on, I think I got better. I started thinking I started relaxing about it all and not being so right, trying to get it right.
Oh,
You know?
let me interject, please, please. Thank you. Thank you. It's you are echoing something that I hear a lot. And so what I really did was I sort of put the onus on you to create your own language, to be Mason, if you will. Create your own language, be your own creative person in this process. And most people go gulp, when they try that because they haven't done it before, okay? But correct me if I'm wrong, once you get used to it, this skill isn't that hard to learn, and you start running with it. Do I have that right?
Yes, that's correct. It was a
Okay.
lot easier. I would do 2, 3, 4 different things at that morning session. And then maybe during the day, if I took a break, I would do it again. And those 3 or 4 different things I was working on may have come out differently
Yeah.
than, the next time I was tapping. And then that night, same thing. Before I went to bed, I may tap again for 3 or 4 different things. And it would be even, the words I had just came out a little different. And as the week went on, it just felt natural. It
Yeah.
wasn't trying to figure it out or trying to get it right or taking that big gulp like you said. It just came easy. It came natural. And the progress that I've seen in my son, we started tapping on Saturday for his potty training issues.
Yes.
And by Thursday, he went to the bathroom by himself. Friday, he did it again. No, I'm sorry, Wednesday. So from Saturday to Wednesday was the first time he just got up and went in the bathroom by himself. Didn't
Okay.
scream at me, didn't have a problem, no issues. We've had a few accidents since then, but he's doing it on his own and not screaming and not being behavior issues around it.
Okay. So just for a little more clarity on that, yes, he's doing that on his own, which is unusual. I'm understanding. Yes.
He does it at school on his own, but at home he just wants to be lazy
Okay.
or he forgets. I haven't, or stubborn. I don't know exactly what it is. Yes.
Okay. But at home, it's unusual for him to do it. Now he's doing it sometimes. Clarify. Half the time, 2/3 the time, 1/3 the time. What?
I'd say about 2/3 of the time.
2/3 of the time. So
Yeah.
an accident now and then, but 2/3 of the time, if I get it right, is a pretty big move.
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right. And so I presume that you are continuing to do your surrogate tapping for this issue.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I will continue.
And it would be my guess that over the next bit of time as it unfolds, the 2/3 will become 3/4 and 90%, and off we go. Okay, but
That's
we'll
the
see.
goal.
We'll see.
That's the goal.
So the potty training thing is we made progress. What else?
Well, also his screaming and just the behavior around when he wants something, either pulling mommy or pushing mommy instead of using his words. I did some tapping around that. That has changed. Last night, before I brushed his teeth, I did a tapping on him having bad behavior and not wanting to brush his teeth. And all of a sudden I went in to brush his teeth and he wasn't screaming at me and pushing me away. He didn't like it still, but it was so much easier.
I'm not sure I'd like it either for somebody to brush my teeth, but but
Exactly.
okay. So I think you used the word you tapped on him, but I think what you meant was you tapped surrogately for
Surrogate.
him. Yeah,
Yes.
and then he just didn't resist this time.
He didn't resist as much as he normally would, yes.
Okay.
Now the goal is to get him brushing his own teeth too, because he
Yes.
knows how.
Hmm.
It's just he doesn't do a good job. So I do have to go in and do a good job at least a couple times a week for him. So no
Okay.
brushing.
So more surrogate tapping, more progress we would hope
Yeah.
down the
Yeah.
road. Okay. So what else?
The one that we were doing the tapping about the loud noises and music, I'm still tapping for that occasionally. I did not do that every day, but I have not set up a scenario yet to try it out to
Okay.
see if it's better. So
So you haven't tested it.
I haven't tested it.
Okay. All right. So we don't know if you've made progress or not.
Correct.
Okay. All right. So what else?
That's pretty much it for
Oh,
him.
okay. As I recall it, there was another issue or two. One of them had to do with, oh, I know what it was. Your parents coming up from the basement, moving chairs or furniture. Things got to be in the
Oh,
right
yes.
place.
Yes. I did tap for everything being in its place and that it was okay for things to be out of place or for people to be out of place. I used different words throughout the week. And yesterday when I went downstairs, when he was downstairs with my parents, I went down there and he didn't push me away and push me towards the stairs, or he didn't scream at me either. So that was, I think, progress.
Well, from the way I heard it, the way we described it last time, correct me if my memory is not accurate here, but I got the sense you went down, he starts pushing, screaming, and
Yes.
having an episode,
Yes.
and now you're telling me he didn't do it at all?
He did not do it at all.
Oh, okay. Well, that sounds to me more like progress, but that doesn't mean it's cured forever, so to speak.
Correct.
You
I
know?
think I'll continue tapping on that too.
Yeah, yeah,
The
okay.
surrogate tapping.
Did
Yes.
you happen to like move a chair someplace or anything like that?
Furniture I did not move around. No.
Okay. So that has yet to be tested.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know what else to add at this moment, unless you have questions for me about, how you might want to proceed from here.
I don't have any questions. No. You told me earlier about, the form of tapping that I'm doing now, so I'm comfortable with all of that.
Uh-huh.
I seem to be getting more comfortable with it every day.
Okay. Well, let's just sort of summarize then for the moment. What I coached you to do last time was just to become Mason, if you will. Just assume you're Mason. Imagine what he might be thinking as a result of all these various issues. Tap, 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 tap along them, and then test to see what happens. That's what you
Okay.
did. It was a fairly simple formula.
Yes.
Okay.
Very easy.
All right, great. Well, I tell you what, keep tapping. If you don't continue to have progress and you want to get back to me to go over some details or something like that, please feel free. Otherwise, you're on your own, dear.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Dusty.
Thank you.
All right, bye.